What's up? Good morning, Deontay with Deontay's Reviews. Make sure you comment, like, tag, share, subscribe. We on these Kountry Wayne skits in these Kountry Wayne streets in Skitlanta, Georgia. We welcome to Skitlanta, Georgia. All right, so I guess my impromptu video yesterday when I was in Walgreens, y'all, I don't know if y'all saw the short that I did yesterday. I did a short yesterday, and I said I was in the family planning section in Walgreens, and I did a video, a short, where I said, Amber, Anthony, y'all can get this paternity test right here, okay? Y'all ain't even had to tell Shayla or the whole world. Paternity test only costs $119, rounded up 120 plus tax, 121 maybe max. But just get the paternity test out of Walgreens. Next time Kai come over there, it's done. And the beauty of doing it that way, and somebody said in the comment, but the court ain't gonna recognize it. Here's why I said just do that kind of DNA test amongst yourselves first. Because you can do that test, right? It'll tell you as to whether or not Kai is his or not. Once you find that out, then you'll know how to operate and function and maneuver moving forward as it relates to Shayla. If it is his child, if y'all do that DNA test, if y'all take my advice, go to Walgreens, get that $120 paternity test. If it is his baby, then he can move different when it comes to Shayla, child support, and all that stuff. If it ain't his baby, then y'all can move a different way and get real sick with it. And y'all can set her up to embarrass her or whatever the case. But it just don't make no sense, though. Like, these two supposed to be business savvy, but in their personal life, they make the worst decisions and act like they remedial or something. It just... But Amber tells Anthony they can sneak and take a DNA test. I said it yesterday. But let's go.
But you don't want to do business with me. Nah, I'm just... Hey, I'm going to call you right back. All right?
Why you gotta always get off the phone when your wife come around? You look sneaky. You look suspect. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, babe. So, I was thinking,
What's up?
you know, Shayla is not going to let us take a DNA test on Kai. Like, she's not going to freely allow us to do that. So I was thinking the next time that he comes, I'm going to go ahead and order the test. So when he comes, we can just swab him, send it out, and the results come back to us. And we don't have to worry about even asking her, because you know she's going to give us a fight.
Say what now?
Amber, one, y'all could have been did that. I don't understand why y'all didn't just do that at first and leave out telling everybody around y'all about the concern. Like, some stuff should just be self-explanatory. We got concerns if Kai is really yours. You know, I got a concern, Anthony, you got a concern. Okay, let's do a DNA test. We ain't gonna tell everybody, but let's just do it to see, you know, let's just do it to see what happens. And then we cross the line. Then we cross that bridge when we get there. If it's yours, then we know we got to deal with Shayla a certain kind of way. If it ain't yours, then we can get ignorant. I mean, now you done said this to this man. This man, listen to his response. What? And I don't think it's because he don't understand what she just said, because he's done it before. He was the one that got Shayla to do the paternity DNA test after the conversation he had with Dalen. I think it was last year or whatever. So it's not like he don't understand. I think he's just throwing off about the fact that she's so insensitive, that she's pushy about this, and it's coming off a certain kind of way to him. And I think that's what's throwing him off about the whole thing.
You hear me? I said we can swab Kai when he's over here, and then we get the results. We don't have to even worry about Shayla. She don't have to know that we're doing it. That's brilliant, right?
Amber, I know damn well you're not talking about sneaking and swabbing my son. Seriously?
Well, Anthony, I'm saying Shayla is not gonna...
It's not about Shayla. Everybody is always about me and me and me. My baby is innocent. He's a baby, and you up here trying to rob him of a choice? All these kids in the world who don't have fathers. And what are you trying to do? Take away his?
No, Anthony, I'm not trying to take away his.
This is screaming he's scared that he doesn't, he's scared that he's not even confident himself if he's Kai's dad. And this is also interesting he's saying this because Coca said the same thing yesterday. Taking away a father from a black man, a black father from a baby. Okay. All right. So if I listen to that, if I hear that, I can on one side empathize with that. Maybe not even empathize, but understand where that comes from. But then the other side is this. Because I know people who have been in situations like this. I know people personally who grew up thinking that their father was one person and they were doing just fine in life, moving, flowing, functioning. And then bam, their adult life, bam, in their teenage years, they find out their whole life was a lie. And after that, their life went downhill. I mean, making reckless decisions because they felt hurt, they felt lied to. You know what I'm saying? You know how many let's stop here. You know how many, for years, secrets in the black family has destroyed people because we won't be honest with them and say, that's not your real daddy. That's not your real mama. You were adopted. That's really your auntie because your mama was strung out on drugs. Like, you know, that is damaging. That mindset has damaged the black community. Not to mention in the transatlantic slave trade, how fathers were snatched and then 100 years go by, we trying to figure out our genealogy, our blood work, you know, and all this, and we trying to figure out, well, wait a minute, well, am I related to these people? Why I got these white folk in my ancestry DNA test? Like, you know, that is traumatizing and it's dangerous. And so, Anthony, you going on with a charade when you're not sure, when you know this whole situation was a mess, you trying to go ahead and still be this boy father if you're not, that can damage him too. If later on down the line something happens, you know what I'm saying, and he find out you ain't his real daddy, and then he gonna be having resentment towards you, towards Shayla, because nobody took the time to, even though the situation was jacked up and messy, nobody took the time to make sure he knew who his real daddy was. Okay, a moment of transparency. My maternal grandmother had a brother. I did the ancestry DNA test, and you know that thing they give you matches. Who's your siblings? Whoever took a test, if they're your sibling, it's gonna show. If they're your cousin, it's gonna show. Long story short, it was a cousin that was real close to me on my mother's side. Come to find out, she was my cousin, but her daddy was my grandmother's nephew of her brother who had been deceased. I ain't never met him. And the family found out that my uncle had a child that we never knew about. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and he found that out years ago, that his daddy, who he thought was his daddy, wasn't his daddy. And so that messes up families, man. Like, I don't get it. I can't rock with that because I know what it does to people firsthand. I know what it does. It's given he's scared. And I'm sorry to go on this rant, but that's something to be said because that happens too often in our communities. And Anthony going along with this, being in his feelings, being emotional, you talking about some me. You thinking about you right now.
His father. I'm trying to make sure that you are his father.
Oh my God, can somebody in this whole triangle have some kind of morals? God.
I know you ain't talking. You ain't got no morals. You don't function with morals. You break out in hives when morals has to come into play with anything in your life. Now you want to scream, y'all, they making me mad. I can't.
Morals? And I know what you gonna say. Oh, everything that I did to you. All right, I'm sorry. I know I've done you wrong. I've done you beyond wrong. Shayla's done you beyond wrong. You've had a play in this too. But Kai is innocent. He's innocent.
Okay, you don't have to yell at me.
It seems like that's the only thing that people understand is when I raise my voice. You trying to swab my baby? God, he's a baby. And regardless, he's my son. You know what? I never thought that you, of all people, could go that low.
That's not going low, Anthony. That. See, Amber, you brought this on yourself because when he came back in your life like that, love bombing you with that salmon and the waffle in that week. All it took, a week in the waffle. And I know y'all be laughing at me, but I'm telling the truth. This should have been criteria back then. Anthony, if you want to come back with me, then we need to find out this baby's yours. So now what done happened was you done let him back in your life, no boundaries, no change, no nothing, no prerequisites, no requirements. And now all of a sudden, a month and some change later, now you want a DNA test. Now he going off on you because he feel like he can. Because you don't require much of anything. You let him do whatever. And so now that you trying to put your foot down, he clapping back at it. Mm-hmm.
Dying? A baby.
Let me tell y'all something. Hurry up and get this DNA test out the way. Because I'm so tired of this storyline. I'm tired of the storyline. I'm really tired of this. Trying to figure out who Kai Daddy is. Trying to figure out if it's Anthony's, if it's Aubrey's, if it's Reggie's, if it's Edgy's, if it's Tedgy, if it's Chrissy. Like, I'm tired of that. Okay? At this point, let him be like baby Jesus. Let him be like baby Jesus. When y'all get this DNA test and this name petition, let him be like baby Jesus. What I mean by that is, in the Bible, we seen baby Jesus when he was born in the manger. We ain't hear nothing about him again till he was 12 in the temple. And after that, we ain't hear nothing about him again till he was about 30. And he started ministry. And when he was getting ready to die on the cross. Like, we heard Jesus in spurts. At this point, when y'all find out what's up with Kai, I want to hear about him in spurts. I'm tired. It's just exhausting, bro. Like, it's exhausting. And you know what and I'm going to let this go. You know what the real karma would be in this situation? Is if this is not Anthony's baby, and he has to deal with that. And then not only would he have to deal with that, he will be left to deal with the reality, wow, here I am chasing a side chick and a baby that I thought was mine, making all kind of adjustments, dissing my wife, putting them before my wife, and my wife was carrying my baby and lost it because I contributed to her miscarriage because I was messing around on her while she was pregnant with her best friend. And here I am focusing on my heir, the person who I thought was my heir. My wife was carrying my heir the whole time. And I contributed to the miscarriage and lost my son. That would be the best karma in this situation. I'm so sick of this storyline. I don't know what to do. Like, tag, comment, share, subscribe. Getting on my nerves.